Good day and thank you for joining us on BeeTv News Updates at 3. I am Lee Bratesman Johanna. Now the news details. Federal and state security officers are currently deliberating on the federal government's initiative to tackle insecurity with a focus on the implementation of the Forest Guard program in 7 states as part of its first phase. The National Security Advisor emphasized that the sources of the initiative will rely heavily on strong political will, adequate funding, and active collaboration from state governments. The report.
Federal and state security officials converged on the office program, under which 130,000 armed operatives are to be deployed across 1,129 forest and game reserves in the country.
The federal government has launched the Forest Guards Initiative. I think the Permanent Secretary alluded to that shortly ago, aimed at sanitizing our forest reserves, which became safe haven for criminal elements. As reiterated by Mr. President, we would flush the bad elements from our forest reserves. The threats of the separatists in the southeast and parts of south-south geopolitical zones.
The 7th of this meeting would be, but the evolving security challenges continuing to mount pressure on the government. Evelyn Isabella reporting for BeeTv News.
President Bola Tinubu has granted a posthumous pardon to Major General Mama Gia Vesal, who was executed in 1986 following a conviction for treason, as well as Herbert Macaulay, the Nigerian nationalist and co-founder of the National Council of Nigeria and Cameroon's NCNC, alongside Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. President Bola Tinubu has granted a posthumous pardon to the Ogini Nine, including renowned environmental activist Ken Saro-Wiwa and his compatriots Saturday Dobe, Nodu Ewao, Daniel Gboko, Paul Levera, Felix Noet, Baribo Bera, Barinem Kobi, and John Kupin. They had previously been formally pardoned as well. In addition, the president conferred national honors on the Ogini 4 Chief Herbert Bade, Chief Eldod Kobani, Chief Samuel Orage, and Theophilus Orage in recognition of their legacy. President Tinubu also extended pardons to 4 former convicts, former House of Representatives member Farouk Lawan, Anastasia Nwaubia, Usani Umar, and Aina Alanamu. These individuals were granted clemency to support their reintegration into society, having shown genuine remorse. Exercising his constitutional power of mercy, the president further granted clemency to 82 inmates and approved a reduction in prison sentences for 65 others. This decision followed the recommendations of the Presidential Advisory Committee on the Procurative of Mercy, PACPCM. 100 young Nigerian women have successfully completed an intensive digital and creative skill training program under the Gender Education, Engagement, Empowerment and Entrepreneurship Program. Supported by the federal government, the initiative is designed to bridge the gender gap in technology and entrepreneurship while unlocking the potential of young girls across the country. The report.
It's a new dawn for these Nigerian young girls who have just completed the Rise Digital Training, a flagship initiative under the G4EP program designed to equip young girls with practical digital skills and empower them to compete in today's innovation-driven economy. For Fuziyat, it's an end to 2 years of job hunting.
It has even impacted me more because my video before now has just been sloppy, just the usual video we make, but now I got to know a lot about angles and how to communicate my videos to my audience.
I have learned so much, not just photography,
cinematography.
Start a company, you're able to do your business, you're visible, so therefore you can earn a living. If you can earn a living, you can empower your community. The end goal is to get them empowered to be able to write their own checks.
The chairman calls for support from state government and collaboration in order to replicate such in their states.
It's very important. You don't have to aim to 100, but if you help 1, 2, if you help change a young girl young girl's life, her future. You've really done a lot. So as an individual, we must
nomination, political parties and calling on Joash Amopitan to impartiality and implementing meaningful institutional reforms. Reacting to the development, the African Democratic Congress, ADC, has urged the newly nominated Electoral Commission Chairman, Joash Amopitan, to remain loyal to the Nigerian people rather than political interests. Similarly, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, is calling on Mr. Amopitan to prioritize internal reforms and a thorough cleansing of the commission in order to rebuild public trust in the electoral process. On the other hand, the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC, has expressed confidence in Mr. Amopitan's appointment, describing it as a well-deserved and based on merit. The Lagos state government has unveiled a new initiative aimed at transforming healthcare delivery across the state, with a strong commitment to increase investment in technology, innovation, and universal access to quality care. This was reviewed at the maiden edition of the Eco Health Convention 2025. The report.
At the maiden Eco Health Convention 2025, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu reaffirmed his commitment to building an inclusive technology-driven health system that guarantees access for all residents' digital transformation. Represented by Deputy Governor Obafemi Hamzat, Governor Sanwo-Olu highlighted major projects including new general hospitals, maternal and child centers, and the state-first mental health institute, as part of efforts to strengthen care at all levels.
Our goal is a real-time health surveillance network guiding policy and resource allocation. Also, we must achieve universal health coverage. Mandatory social health insurance is our vehicle for doing that. So our task is to ensure that
subsequently in all our future conventions.
As Lagos charts its way into providing quality healthcare, the onus is on all stakeholders to sustain the drive towards a healthier and more inclusive future. Favor Kolawole reporting for BeeTv News.
The Delta State Police Command has announced the arrest of 95 suspects over the past month, including 5 alleged kidnappers, 3 of whom were killed during a gun duel with security operatives. A kidnapped victim was also successfully rescued during the operation. The arrests come as part of intensified security efforts ahead of the end of the year period, a time typically associated with a rise in criminal activities. The Delta State Commissioner of Police has urged residents to remain vigilant and to promptly report any suspicious persons or movements to the authorities to help maintain public safety. The report
is yet another effort to tackle security challenges, particularly cases of kidnapping, armed robbery, drug abuse, and cultism. Alongside the recovered weapons, the commissioner narrated how officers apprehended the suspect in different parts of the state.
Quite a series of kidnapping around the Agbawagis in Ugele and the environment. Operative of CP Special Assignment Team in Ugele, in compliance with my directive on intelligence-led policing, extended our investigation to Rivers and Imo State because a lot of these people who operate here will normally, they are cross-border, and I'm sure we have said this before. And luckily, they were put out of business. 1 AK-47 rifle, 2 magazines, 40 rounds of live ammunition, and 1.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has clarified that the remarks made by its chairman and chief executive officer during a workshop organized by the Nigeria Academy of Science regarding the potential export of cannabis oil reflect his personal opinion and do not represent the official position of the federal government. The chairman and chief executive officer of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Brigadier General Muhammad Buba Mawa, retired, has clarified his recent remarks on the export of cannabis oil. Speaking as an invited guest at a workshop organized by the Nigeria Academy of Science team, Kennedy is not opposed to the idea of exporting cannabis oil to countries that legally require it strictly for the purpose of generating foreign exchange for Nigeria. However, he emphasized that the agency remains firmly against the local use of cannabis, in line with existing law and the alarming rates of drug abuse in the country. The NDLEA issued this clarification and granted approval for the export of cannabis oil. The national chairman of the Action Alliance, Kenneth Udeze, has urged Nigerians to disregard the alleged court judgment ordering the arrest and imprisonment of the immediate past chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakubu. It was reported that Justice Adefunmilola Demi Ajayi of the Federal High Court sitting in Osogbo ordered the arrest and imprisonment of the immediate past chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, for allegedly disobeying a court judgment. The order reportedly stemmed a suit filed by Rafi Omoaje, an expelled member of the Action Alliance, in what the party described as a desperate attempt to force recognition of his faction as the party's legitimate leadership. However, the Action Alliance has clarified that the issue of the party's authentic leadership has already been conclusively settled by judgments.
Enjoy his retirement, having contributed so much in the electoral reforms and deepening of democracy in Nigeria.
Justice Rahman Oshodi of the Special Offences Court sitting in Ikeja has admitted additional documents represented by the prosecution as exhibits, overruling objections raised by the Defense Counsel in the ongoing 4.5 billion naira fraud case involving former Central Bank of Nigeria Governor Godwin Emefiele. The court also ordered a trial within trial to determine whether the statement given by the second defendant while in EFCC custody was made voluntarily. The report.
Justice Rahman Oshodi of the Special Offense Court in Ikeja has admitted a bundle of documents extracted from the mobile phone of John Adetola, the former executive assistant to the first defense lead prosecution Rotimi Oyedepo, senior advocate of Nigeria, continued the examination of the eighth prosecution witness, Alvan Gurumna, an EFCC operative. Gurumnan testified that the investigation revealed how Emefiele allegedly received a total of $600,000, both directly and indirectly. He further stated that a CBN, Central Bank of Nigeria contractor, gave the defense permission to inspect it at a later date. However, defense counsel opposed the prosecution's attempts to tender statements made by the second defendant, Henry Omole, during the investigation, arguing that they were obtained without legal representation. Following further legal arguments and adjourned proceedings to December 2nd and 3rd, 2025. The court also scheduled November 21, 2025 for both parties to report on the agreed modalities for the defense to conduct a forensic examination of Adetola's phone and WhatsApp messages already admitted into evidence. Favor Kolawole reporting.
You're still watching the BeeTv News Updates at 3 while we go on a short break. To stay with us.
My people of Edo State, development is not a miracle. It is the result of responsibility, and you must understand this simple truth. Government cannot perform without your tax. Government will fix schools, build roads, light up communities if the people pay their tax. That's how governance works. It is not about politics. It is about progress. When you pay your tax, you are not helping the government. You are helping yourself. You are helping your family and your future. Don't wait to be chased. Do the right thing. Be part of building the new Edo State. Pay your tax with pride. Let us build Edo together. This message is brought to you by Edo State Internal Revenue Service.
In the heart of Benin City, where heritage meets the horizon of tomorrow, a celebration of truth, courage, and vision takes center stage. BeeTv News, bold in boards, fearless in purpose, proudly marks 2 remarkable years of journalism that shapes the nation. On Saturday, October 18, 2025, at the iconic Victor Owaifo Creative Hub, Airport Road, Benin City, the nation gathers to reflect on a defining theme: Nigeria's future, bleak or bright, the role of the media. Leading this historic conversation, the governor of Edo State, Senator Monday Okpelolo, and his deputy, Right Honorable Dennis Idahosa. Mother of the day, Mrs. Edesili Okpelolo Anani, Coordinator Office of the First Lady, Edo State. Father of the day, Chief Dan Osi Obi, National Vice Chairman, South of the People's Democratic Party. Illuminating the team as guest speaker, scholar and statesman, Professor Eddie Eragbe, Professor of History and International Studies, Uniben. And in a moment of history, the BeeTv News Icon of the Year Award will be presented to His Excellency Senator Comrade Adams Aliu Eric Oshomole. And with vision for the future, BeeTv News unveils the BeeTv Foundation, a legacy of service, empowerment and change, to be launched by Honorable Godwin Okodua, Managing Director Club Ray, and supported by Honorable Sylvester Aigbobo, Deputy State Chairman APC, Chief Host Right Honorable Dr. Omoroge Ogbede Ihama, Executive Director Corporate Services, Niger Delta Power Holding Company Limited. BeeTv News 2nd anniversary, Saturday, October 18th, time 3 p.m. at the Victor Owaifo Creative Hub, Benin City. Signed, Miss Best Orator, Managing Director, BeeTv News.
Welcome back. Now to business news. The Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria, the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC), and other governance stakeholders have advocated for strengthening ethical governance in Nigeria, especially at the board level, amid increasing national and global disruptions. This was focus of the 20th Anniversary Corporate Governance Conference of the Society for Corporate Governance Nigeria (SCGN), held under the theme Strengthening Ethical Governance in a Disrupted World, Reflection on Governance Journey for a Sustainable Future. Let's join BeeTv News Temitope Oluwafemi for more details.
The conference served as a platform for regulators, board leaders, and governance professionals to review progress made over the past 2 decades in promoting integrity, transparency, and responsible leadership. It also addressed emerging challenges undermining ethical governance in Nigeria. These include gaps in professional competence, environmental and data reporting, manipulation, digital corruption, and the growing influence of artificial intelligence and digital assets. In addition to the deliberations, 3 major publications were launched to commemorate the SCGN's 20-year milestone. These include Corporate Governance and Sustainability Reporting in Nigeria, Governance in Motion, 20 Years of Corporate Governance Influence and Impact, and the 28th edition of the Journal of Corporate Governance. Etel Africa Foundation, through Etel Nigeria, has launched its undergraduate tech scholarship program to support 100 Nigerian students pursuing degrees in information and communication technology-related disciplines. The program aims to address financial constraints and hinder academic and technical development among undergraduates. The scholarship covers full tuition accommodation, study materials, and a living stipend from the first year's 20 billion naira Mudaraba Sukuk issuance, with total subscriptions reaching 57.3 billion naira. The bond, which offers a 20.5% annual profit rate, is the second tranche under the bank's 100 billion naira Sukuk program. The strong market response reflects growing investor confidence in TAJ Bank's non-interest banking model and its performance in the Islamic finance space. Despite prevailing micro markets, the successful bond insurance further strengthens the bank's position in the market and supports its objective of funding real sector projects through Sharia-compliant financial instruments. Temitope Oluwafemi reporting for
acting and pursue a career in directing. Also, D4 News Evelyn Izibili for details and more from Entertainment World.
Darissa Pink transitioned into music video directing, a career move she described as one that granted her creative freedom, self-respect, and professional control. Since then, she has built a reputable career working with leading Afrobeat artists in the Nigerian music scene. She has encouraged aspiring directors to remain patient and committed, stating that success in the industry requires years of hard work and resilience. Life coach and commentator Solomon Buchi has responded to public criticism surrounding a viral video in which a man highlighted the emotional and physical strain experienced by men while supporting their partners through pregnancy. The conversation began when content creator Maraji dismissed the notion that men's struggle during pregnancy should be acknowledged, stressing that the physical and emotional toll is primarily borne by women. In contrast, Buchi emphasized that while women experience the direct